Welcome to the webinar for Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy. My name is Jennifer Ryan, and I'm very excited to introduce you to our innovative programs that we will be bringing to Utah. Our mission at Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy is to promote entrepreneurial success through a combination of strong academic rigor, project-based learning, and a culture of ownership. When we began this journey several years ago, my son was attending a traditional public school. Based on all the state testing data, our school was amazing. In fact, it was one of the best in Utah. But in those quiet moments, something was really nagging at me. Before I became a mom, I had spent 8 years as a business consultant, and I realized that as my son was going to the school every day, that the traditional education model would do little to prepare him to engage in a 21st century career. People used to get an education to gain expertise in an area, but with the internet, there's so much information out there. It's readily available to each and every person on the planet. So where does that leave education today? Well, at Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy, we feel like there are still concepts that should be mastered, but at the same time, we believe more is going to be expected of our children. We are thinking that they're going to be expected to know how to use this information to overcome unforeseen challenges in their future or to take advantage of potential opportunities. So, with our children in mind, we set out to create a school that hit what we feel are 5 key objectives that will hone 21st century skills, while at the same time assisting our children on their journey to experiencing joy and satisfaction in their lives. Our first objective was to lay a very solid academic foundation for the students that come to Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy. We recognize that each student that comes to us is at a different place in their learning and learns at a different pace than other students. So our focus is helping each student move as fast as they can in their learning or as slow as what they need to in order to ensure mastery. The second key objective was to encourage the use of a variety of learning modalities. I don't know about what your experience is with your child, but what I'm finding with my own is that they can readily do exercises using paper and pencil, but sometimes the transition to being able to actually apply those concepts is where they get lost. And we were looking for a school or to create a school that enables kids to use hands-on learning tools to really understand a concept and also software that will reinforce the concepts that they've learned in the most efficient way possible. The third thing that we set out to do was to have a student-teacher relationship that encourages students to work independently and take ownership of their own learning. Instead of our children being told what to do, we want them to be taught how to set goals and to be held accountable for the goals that they set. When they don't achieve their goals, we want it to be an opportunity to reflect upon what they could be doing better to manage their time and to understand the environment and habits that will enable their success in the future. Our fourth objective was to motivate them to learn because of curiosity, because they love to learn, and because there's ample peer support, instead of learning just for the sake of passing a test and then forgetting the information that they learned the next day. And then last but not least, when we looked at creating a school, we wanted something that would enable students to apply their learning in the context of real life projects that serve to deepen their understanding of academic core material, but also to build those vital 21st century skills such as collaboration, communication, and creative problem solving. In hitting these objectives, Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy will ensure that students are ready for future career opportunities. We're not alone in recognizing that a shift is needed in education. I think schools across the nation are starting to redefine what education is and to prepare students for what lies ahead of them. Acton Academy, located in Austin, Texas, is one of these schools. It's recognized as the leader in 21st century education by the Gates Foundation, and it will be a model for what we hope to attain at Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy.
There are 3 beliefs at Acton that drive everything we do. The first belief is that every student who walks in our door is a genius who is destined to change the world. Secondly, we believe that students should be in charge of their own learning. And thirdly, we believe that asking great questions is far more important than regurgitating correct answers. In fact, learning to do and learning to be outweigh simply learning to know.
Well, there are 3 main ways that we equip and inspire students at Acton Academy. The first, for core skills, is using the latest in adaptive software and real-life practice for reading, writing, and arithmetic. For example, we use Khan Academy, ST Math, Mangai, and a variety of other math programs, and let students choose the one that they like the most. For reading, the main goal is to get students to love to read. Anything and everything, and over time to step them up to more challenging work. In writing, the secret to writing is to write a lot. Our students don't just write essays though. They write thank you notes, they write web copy, they write pitches for projects, so they're writing things that they'll use in the real world to persuade a real audience. Secondly, and this is one of the fun parts, quest-based projects. Not just project-based learning, but actually stringing those projects together as if you feel like you were Harry Potter chasing after Lord Voldemort, or Sir Lancelot in the Holy Grail. So these are a series of real-world projects where they learn 21st century skills with usually some sort of cost-benefit connected. And then finally, as the students get into middle school and high school, real-world apprenticeships. Because after all, we're preparing them for a hero's journey. They need to learn to find that calling, that gift, the thing they do better than anyone else, that brings them great joy, that serves others in the world. We want them to experiment with a series of adventures in middle school and high school for pay. And so they're not in a science lab. They're working with a real scientist at the university. They're not playing at a lemonade stand. They're working in a real business.
Many people ask us, how do we know whether or not this really works? And it's a great question. We don't necessarily believe that national standardized tests are critical to a school. However, it has given us some data. And on average, our students are progressing rapidly through grade levels. We have had several of our students, and this is elementary age students, max out the Stanford 10 test, which goes through high school. So we feel confident that the basic skills are being learned and grasped, and we never teach to the test. We just one day say it's a special day, we're taking a test, and you get fun snacks. And they take the test, and they do really well. We feel very confident about the curriculum in that way. We also were ranked as one of the top blended schools in America by InnoSight, and that meant a lot to us because it means that people who are experts in education have looked at our school and analyzed what we're doing and given us 2 thumbs up on a national level.
I have really come around to seeing that blended learning is a brilliant innovation. It frees up the guides to work one-on-one with the kids who need help when they need help. The other ones are having a blast working at their own pace. And they're learning just as much, probably a lot more really, than their peers who might be doing exercises with pen and paper, filling out workbook after workbook.
Another very important thing we do is every week we take a survey. We ask parents, and more importantly, our customers, the students, what worked this week and what didn't. We ask them to rate the school. We ask them to rate the teachers. We ask for comments. And we found that tying our guides' bonuses to customer satisfaction and listening closely if are we delivering what we promise, it has a profound effect on the performance of the school.
There's integrity to everything. All the layers line up. Everything they do has a purpose. And that really aligns with our family philosophy. We want everything we do to have a purpose. And the weekly surveys are one of the ways that they hold themselves accountable. And it's a weekly reminder that students and parents are customers and that the Academy is really here to serve the families.
We see ourselves not as teachers of content, but more curators. With that in mind, the first thing we do every year when it's time to recreate the curriculum is to start out with an overarching question. What's an important, profound question that could link everything we do in core skills, in projects, in the sciences, in arts, in PE, all together. For example, the question this year is, does the past determine the future? And what a fascinating philosophical question. So everything we do all year is somehow tied to the idea of the past determining the future and how that will affect our students and their hero's journey through life.
I think our process drama project, interrelated with electronics and robotics, and producing a play that was at the State Theater, was probably one of our most successful and most exciting projects. It involved everyone, their bodies, their minds, their hearts, their souls. The students not only had to become and create a character, but had to create their own story, had to actually create a budget for the play, had to sell the tickets, had to have a concession stand, had to perform, had to direct the play. And within that, they were learning all about how the world works through electronics and robotics, and at the same time questioning what does it mean to be human. And they came up with answers like being able to love and to forgive and to feel emotion. So that's it for me.
The idea of looking at your life as a narrative that you have control over. I didn't figure that out for myself until I was in my 20s. But these young kids, some of them are 6 years old when they first come to Acton, are being given the idea that they are the protagonists in their life story and that they are the heroes. It's so empowering. I think it really gives the context that how they spend today affects what their choices will be for tomorrow.
I have great hopes for education in the future of America because I believe people are really experimenting right now and playing around with ideas and trusting things they didn't trust in the past. I feel that technology is just shattering everything that we've known and been comfortable with. I think that people accept that a system that worked in the early 1900s is not appropriate for us now. But I think free thinkers are the key, and that's what we're trying to protect here at Acton. The freedom to really think and to be who you are meant to be.
What I've seen happening at Acton in the classroom, what I've seen these children do and become, has made me feel that the Acton methodology really has the potential to change education on a global level. And that is what I would love to see happen. I feel like this little school that takes so many risks is a wonderful laboratory for innovation. Every day, the look in my son's eyes, the twinkle in his eyes, curiosity, joy, excitement, these things are so alive in him, and Acton cultivates that and celebrates that. And I feel really lucky to have him in an environment where his natural inclination is celebrated and nurtured.
There are 4 pillars of learning at Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy. The first and most important is nurturing that love of learning. I think we know as parents that when students are engaged and are interested and they're loving what they're doing, learning seems effortless. The students become engaged when they own and are accountable for their own learning. That's the second key pillar at Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy. The third pillar is giving students the opportunity to engage in curriculum that is at their appropriate level. At Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy, learning is personalized to meet each student's individual place and pace of learning. Project-based learning is the fourth pillar, and it serves to deepen understanding, but also to help students develop skills that are vital to the modern workplace, such as collaboration, communication, and creative problem solving. One of the unique ways Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy equips its students is by helping them hone the skills needed for success both academically and for collaborative projects. So, in addition to academic work at the beginning of each school year, students are led through a series of exercises that build communication, an ability to critique and receive critique, and self-management, as well as knitting together a supportive collaborative community. Second and third graders lead their class in resolving community challenges through the use of Socratic dialogue, 4th through 6th grade students create learning contracts that they use to guide as a guide to holding each other accountable for doing their best work. Students in all grades are able to give and accept constructive feedback that serves to improve student learning. At Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy, this toolbox lays the cultural foundation of excellence school-wide for the entire school year. So as students start to settle into their routine for the year, a typical day would look like the following. For the first 15 minutes of each morning, the students would be spending building entrepreneurial skills such as communication, goal setting, and culture and team building. Then after they finish setting their goals for the day, during the next 2 to 3 hour chunk of time, they'd be working on their core skills, so the math, English, and science. So if a student is in the kindergarten through 3rd grade level, they'll follow a Montessori curriculum and progression with a supplemental reading program that's designed to make the best readers. In a Montessori environment, students are taught in really small groups of anywhere from between 1 to 5 students using hands-on materials and project-based learning that are designed to accelerate students' understanding of concepts. After the teacher teaches a small group a lesson, the group then is sent to work independently in mastering the concepts grasped during lessons on their own, which really hones their ability to use their time effectively. So this means that each student's lesson is tailored to their needs, and then they're given the tools that they need in order to master those concepts independently. So if your student is in the 4th through 9th grade classes, they will have access to Montessori curriculum and hands-on learning tools. But in addition to that, they'll also be given access to online software such as ST Math, Khan Academy, Spelling City, etc., in order to learn concepts and practice concepts in the most efficient way possible. So after lunch, students engage in a project-based learning experience designed to solidify learning and apply concepts in the context of real life experiences. So these could be anything from running their own in-class business to taking an art class to writing a poetry anthology. Could be any one of a number of things that serve a dual purpose of solidifying concepts in connection with real life events and experiences, and at the same time honing many of those vital 21st century skills such as collaboration, creative problem solving, and communication. The final activity at the end of the day is from roughly 2:30 to 3 o'clock, where students look over the goals they set in the morning and they hold themselves accountable to having achieved those goals. And if they had set those goals and they were achieved, they reflect on, if they could do better tomorrow, or should they be setting more ambitious goals, or what did they do today that ensured that they met all their goals. If they didn't meet all their goals, then they reflect upon what distractions they might have had during the day, or how they managed their time, or how they estimated their workload and their ability to accomplish a task. But regardless, what the outcome of that is, the students create a plan for tomorrow on how they will spend their day based on what they learned about themselves during that day. In following the structure of the day, the real goal of Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy is really to just nurture that love of learning that will last a lifetime. In addition, students will be practicing skills vital to their success beyond school. The combination of giving students ownership over their own learning and giving them the ability to personalize their learning dramatically accelerates the learning environment. As an example, Acton Academy, for every year a student is at school, they gain at least 1.5 years of curriculum in at least one subject area. The model is so successful that it's been nationally recognized by the Gates Foundation as a school that should be looked to lead 21st century learning programs. Is excited to bring this innovative education model to Utah. We're excited for you and your children to join us on this journey. Leading the journey is myself, Jennifer Ryan. I'm the board chair, former managing director at Microsoft. Kaylee Reed, blended learning expert and program creator of Acton Academy. Christopher Parkins, Adobe Global Head of Industry Strategy and Marketing. Kelly Tate is one of the leading reading specialists in the state of Utah. Tassi Young is our legal expertise. He's helped a couple of charter schools set up across the state. And Dr. Ben Moulton, who specializes in distance and online learning. Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy will be starting 2016-2017 school year, which is 50 students and is grant subsidized. And then we're going to be launching the full charter school in 2017-2018 with 400 students as a free public charter school. We'll be located near Traverse Mountain, and please take a minute and like our Facebook page. If you have a child and you're interested in sending your child to Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy, I encourage you to become a founding family. What founding families are to the school is they're the cultural foundation of the school. They make meaningful contributions, and by doing so, it guarantees your child a spot. We're really looking for founding families that have a diversity of talents, great kids, and really have a desire to help the school. If you're interested in becoming a founding family, you can go to our Facebook page and like it in order to receive updates. Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy is our name. You can either follow the link on the page or you can do a search in Facebook. We encourage you to complete the founding family application pinned to the top of our Facebook page while you're there. And there will also be information about upcoming events and information sessions. So please visit our Ignite Facebook page regularly for updates. We've held several information meetings about Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy to date, and we always get two questions. One is, how is the transition to high school? And the second, do we offer a language immersion program? So let's first start with the transition to high school. Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy is a Utah charter school and is held to the same standards that all Utah public schools are held to, and we do teach Utah core standards. So in terms of what the students will know upon entering high school, that will be the same things as any other traditional school throughout Utah. We've talked to several families who have gone from an environment similar to Ignite Entrepreneurship Academies into a more traditional school setting, and they have all said that the transition has been very smooth. 2, language immersion. We currently do not offer a language immersion program at Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy. And if you have any more questions, you can visit our Facebook page or come to an event. Thank you. This concludes our webinar for Ignite Entrepreneurship Academy. I just want to thank you for watching.